right, Grand Rising, greetings, good day to you all, and welcome to the Peak Wellness Hour. We have been missing you all. We missed you all last week, but we are here coming in strong to celebrate National Women's History Month. So we can't wait to do that with you. We want to invite you to, we want to encourage you to invite a friend, share, like, and subscribe. Grab a pen and paper, and let's have some fun. We're going to dive into this conversation in just a moment. Right. Welcome. Again, we are so glad to be back, missing last week, to the Peak Wellness Hour. Grand Rising, Queen Kathy, Pirates of Akivalon. So glad to see you here. And anyone else is here, please say hello in the chat. It's March. We missed the first Saturday of March. We are here for the second week. Queen Eve has some amazing things going on. I just got some amazing rest with my king. So, and you look good, Queen. I love your hair. You look beautiful.
And you also, thank you, Queen.
Thank you. So yes, welcome everyone. We're going to have a conversation about the amazingness of women, and we'll see how this goes. We're going to have a conversation though. So before we do, Queen, Lady Edith.
Good morning, friends and family. It's been a minute. I haven't been here for 2 weekends, and I did miss this, but we are most thankful for you. It's March. It's my first greeting to you in March. This is a month that we have sprung forward with our time. Is it long days and short nights or what?
They're
We
all too
don't.
long and too short.
it looks like long days and short nights, but
Yeah.
we notice how quickly time is flying though. I mean, just a few days ago it was Tuesday, and the next thing I knew it was Friday.
Yeah.
And life keeps happening. But it's so important that we take the time to celebrate ourselves, celebrate the gifts that God and life has had for us. Today, I hope and pray that you're doing well. You're taking the time to rest. You're taking the time to take care of your families. But above all, you're taking your time to prepare yourself to enjoy what is up and coming. We are getting ready to talk to you. We'll talk about Women's History Month. What does that mean? What does that mean? Um, there's so many people who have led the way for us. We stand on the shoulders of some of these women. Some of them are great grandmothers, our grandmothers, our mothers, our aunties, our teachers, people who have been of influence in our lives. And I will share one story and then I'll let Queen take over. I remember being in Ghana, we called it class 4, 5, and 6. So basically, it's grade 4, 5. So 8, 9, 10, 6, 7. Yeah, 8, 9, 10. I was somewhere along the lines. I had a teacher called Mrs. Battles. And Mrs. Battles was the first person who taught us to be a lady. Okay. And at the time, she said, a lady is not heard, she is seen. She taught us how to glide into the room, how to sit up, how to carry ourselves. And I loved Mrs. Battles because she modeled what she taught. So, one of the first questions we're going to ask you, who are some of the people who influenced your life? Today, I question some of the things the lady is not seen. She is not heard, she's seen. Well, Edith is heard. First of all, my high heels sometimes walking, making noise, and I was born to talk. So Edith is heard. And it is one of the things that I like to debate on. But who are some of the women who influenced you? My mother was huge. So, who are some of the women who influenced you? And what are some of the things you are doing to influence others when you're gone? Well, will the people you impact, what will they say about you, and how will they say you impacted their lives, Queen?
You got me typing. Hold on. That's all y'all hear, isn't it? Is a bunch of typing. um, okay. These are really good questions. Grand rising to my queen mother and my queen sister who just popped in. Grand rising, grand rising. Thank you, queen sister. As are you. As are you. I appreciate you. If you all are in the Indianapolis area looking for a home, Crystal S. Thomas is the one. So yeah, let's see these questions. That wasn't the first one, was it? I skipped it.
I've typed it out.
So, who are some of the women that have empowered you in your life? So that's a great question. I can say for a certainty that every female that is on this platform right now on this live has certainly empowered me. It's been such a blessing, and it's interesting because we form throughout our lives in different stages, and people are relevant in different seasons, in different moments in our lives. So it's so fun to make positive connections even as we grow older with other women. And I don't think we always have to be like-minded. We just have to be open-minded for growth. Sometimes we have difference of opinions, different experiences, different concepts. But when we're open to have conversation and look for growth, there's so much power in it. You learn so much. We have a lot to learn, and we have a lot to offer, all of us. Something that is
Mm,
so important in life. And a lot of times as women, we shut one another out, and we shut out those opportunities because we're closed-minded. So think about that when we're thinking about women that influenced us, that have influenced us, that are influencing us. What does that look like to you? And if someone is influential in your life, are you implementing those things that are being bestowed on you? Are you paying and supporting other women, teaching other women? So yeah, that is so important. I think.
this is what I have written here. I said, as we gather to celebrate Women's History Month, we set aside time to honor courage,
Mhm.
okay, resilience, and contributions of women throughout history. The opportunities we have today did not appear overnight.
Mhm.
They exist because generations of women before us dared to challenge limitations, pursue education, build families, lead communities, and open doors that were once closed. Almost some of them were almost defiant. Okay, while we celebrate their stories, yet we must also ask ourselves, what story are we writing for the next generation? Every day we wake up, the choices we make, the decisions we take, the actions, every action we take, the people we encourage, okay, and the examples we said, whether in our homes, workplaces, businesses, communities, we are influencing someone who is watching us and learning from our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is this: are we aware? Are we conscious? Do you walk with the consciousness that someone is actually watching us? Okay, and if so, are we being intentional? Because we hear so many stories of women who didn't get the opportunity to vote. I remember growing up, and not in my time, but sometimes before me in Ghana, and I think in a lot of Africa, women were not okay. Let's just say that we have a family, right? And they have only so much money can educate one child.
Mm-hmm.
There's a boy child, there's a girl child. The assumption is that the girl will get married, go to your husband's home, and be okay. So the family would rather educate the boy child. Okay. And I remember growing up we had this campaign called Send the Girl Child to School. Girl children were not a priority for formal, let me make that clear, formal education. You get the education in home building, cooking, cleaning, how to maintain a home, how to sew. Okay, so my mother sewed almost every outfit I wore as a child. My sister and I, some even our brothers, the shirts my mother made them. She could sew, she could cook, she could bake, she could clean. She was a great homemaker. I couldn't bake, I couldn't sew. My sister sewed, and sometimes I felt like I wasn't good enough as a woman. Okay. And that is that's how where I grew up in, where education, formal education for the girl child was a privilege. Okay, for the boy child, it was a must. Okay, so people have suffered, people have gone through a lot of things for you and I to be where you are. I don't know the culture that raised you. In America is different, because I know that maybe slave trade time, even the men struggled to get education. But some women fought. Some women went to schools where black women, okay, black women were not even allowed to be there, but they pushed. They were the first people to go there. In some situations, it was just women, purely women. Only men were in the schools. They going there, being there, you know, was a huge challenge, and they had to prove that they were worth being there. So we stand on these shoulders of these women. Some of them had to sacrifice their lives, literally died in the process. I've watched a lot of movies on women just making history, sacrificing their lives, sacrificing their marriages, sacrificing everything that gives them comfort to make sure that the next generation does better. And what are we doing with it? What are we doing with it?
Mm.
I think we're going to go into some names, Queen, if you want to.
What names? You want to go into some names? Go into some
Some
names.
of the um, some of the women who've made impacts.
Go ahead. Shoot.
Tell me about Rosa Parks.
I would like to not. I would like to not.
Why not?
Let me
Okay.
tell you why. No, let's have this discussion. Let me tell you why. So here's the thing. With some, so we, I was of course looking up different, just kind of conversation and flow for this topic, and that is these are the same names that are brought up often, and we don't expand. That's what I was saying earlier. We don't expand our mindset outside of this box of names that we've been given, and we really kind of tote these names around with no understanding of the struggle and and the concept of why they do what they do. Um, I'll throw an option at you. Which, and I'm not minimizing Rosa Parks, so please do not misunderstand me or anyone else that has their perspective as far as leaders, especially in the Black community. I'm not knocking that. I'm not trying to knock that. But what if it was factual? Just let's say that Rosa Parks, that whole situation just happened because she was tired. She was tired that day and she wanted to sit down and she wasn't having no mess. And she really didn't care who said what when. She was just tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired. What if her sitting in that seat wasn't about a movement and making a stance? What if she just wanted to sit down? And we
So
make
that is a
it something
genuine
else.
question. I don't mean to cut you.
Go
That's
ahead.
a genuine question. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible talks about that the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. I don't think that anybody should do anything because they want to start a movement. Really, a lot of the things that have become history is not because somebody wanted to start a movement. It's because somebody got tired.
Mhm.
Somebody got tired of the status quo. I am tired. I'm a woman. I've worked all day, been on my feet. I just need a place to sit.
Mhm.
And let's look at it from that perspective right now. What are you tired of? Because a lot of the times, the things that bring about the change is because we're just tired
Mhm.
of how the situation has been. So I will, some people may have set out to create a movement. Others may have set out to just bring food to the family, bring about change so they can feed and take care of their families.
Mhm.
Okay. So many things, some of these things we celebrate. It's not so much because the person even saw themselves as strong, but it is a woman who needed to put food on the table for her family. It is a woman whose survival instincts had set in. Okay, I am tired of being broke. And I look at my life because I look at my life and I feel like I have to do better and leave a legacy and make my life better and be able to leave a legacy worth living. I don't want my children to go through my journey. They will have their challenges, but what am I leaving in place for them? What would I leave in place for them? First of all, my children. Okay, that when I'm gone, they can stand on, they'll have a platform to stand on to build a
Mhm.
higher platform for who is coming next. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's not always about movement. And that's why I asked that question.
Mhm.
What story are you writing for the next generation? Okay, let me look at my mother. And I know, Queen, you have a lot to say. Let me look at my
Go
mother.
ahead. Go ahead.
My mother my mother was not okay. My mother was very much a hands-on mother.
Mhm.
She could conjure food out of almost nothing. Okay, I come from a family that was together. We were very close and tight knitted. Okay, our relationship with each other was amazing. It was a family where you knew you were loved, even though nobody said it to you. You enjoyed it. We were taken care of. We could
Mhm.
laugh and talk and tease each other. My father was a huge tease. Okay,
Mhm.
but I can't say we were financially good. Okay, dad was the only one who went. Mom was home. While she was home, she'll trade. She'll buy and sell anything. She'll bake bread. She'll make pastries basically. There were a lot of schools around us, and the school kids would come and get pastries. Okay, there was no idle time in our home. If you come to our home, you find food.
Mm-hmm.
She made the most out of everything. When I look at my life and I look at some of the struggles I've been through, I ask myself this question. It's a question I've asked myself a lot lately. If my mother went through what I've been through in her own way, then I did not honor her enough. Because we can look at centuries ago, we can also look at just the last generation of women. Okay, as I grow older, I'm getting close to 60 in about a year. As I get older, I begin to think deeply about the influences that I have had and how am I influencing other people.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. And one of the exercises, and I'm going to ask you to do it. I'm going to ask you to do it. If you were to write your own what do you call that thing when somebody dies, what do you call it? A
Obituary.
little bio, a little
Obituary.
bio about yourself. Well, by a little biography about yourself, being honest, being genuine. Whilst you're gone, somebody is writing about you. Would you like what they write? How will they say you impacted their lives? Who are you as a person to them? And these are the questions we have to ask ourselves because there's a legacy we must leave. We all have to leave some legacy. As women, what are the legacies? But, Queen, I'm going to ask a question. One of the statements
Yeah.
that a lot of people make is that women, we are our own enemies. Everywhere women gather, we tend to find a lot of bickerings and a lot of conflict. How true is that? And how do we change that narrative?
I believe that is true for a lot of people. And those are people that attract chaos and disruption a lot of times, you know, and it's not always the case, but a lot of times when we, first of all, it's so intimidating to engage with other women for a lot of women, you know. Do I look the part? Do I fit the part? Do I, all these different things that we think. Um, and sometimes we just click up with nasty people that are just not kind. And it's a vicious cycle. So I think when it comes to us being our own worst enemies, we are not nice to one another, you know. Um, a lot of times. That's why I said, you know, coming together and networking as women and being strong and growing together as women, different types of women, is so important. I work in the healthcare field as a nurse, and I had a colleague I was just talking to about this yesterday. Nurses are some of the most hateful women I have ever seen in a workplace. They are cutthroat. They're not just nurses, healthcare providers, female healthcare providers. They're just nasty, mean, incompassionate people as a whole in a female dominated profession. And it's a lot of envy and jealousy and crabs in a bucket mentality when it really doesn't have to be like that. We all have gifts and talents and something to offer. And maybe not to you, but I have something to offer to someone else. And we should respect that. So no, it's only as true as who we align ourselves with. But too oftentimes anymore, it's too true. So a lot of females don't have a lot of female friends, you know, because it just not, I don't know. I love strong women. I love strong black women. You know, I love the unity behind that. I love having a conversation, not talking to someone that you feel like there's going to be an argument with or a dispute. We can have a difference of opinion, but there's no reason why we should be in the company of anyone where we feel like we're going to have to throw hands or, you know, get the clawing or whatever the phrase is now. How we get aggressive with one another. So yeah, there's room to grow. There's no reason for discord amongst womanhood when you're trying to grow. Did I answer your question?
You answered my question. I have a food for thought, so to speak.
Mhm.
I've never heard of Men's History Month. Okay, I have never heard it. If it's there, then please educate me. I have never heard of Men's History Month, but there is a Women's History Month, and there has to be some kind of thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Why Women's History Month? Okay, and if the world is throwing its weight behind women
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate women, and many of us, or the level of competition,
Mm-hmm.
competition can be healthy. So the level of unhealthy competition, trying
Mm-hmm.
to prove that I'm better than you,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it speaks to the mentality that within me psychologically I'm not enough. Let me explain. The need to prove that I'm better than Queen G, I'm more beautiful, or whatever it is she is, I can be better than her. And starting an unhealthy kind of competition is because of the struggles I'm having myself
Mm-hmm.
internally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't feel enough, I'm going to try to prove. But when I feel that I'm okay, I'm enough, I am
Mm-hmm.
uniquely made. Okay, there is something Queen G does that Edith, no matter what, she can go to get a 10,000 degrees, will not be able to do it because that's just not who she's got to be. I can try, but I will never be Queen G. And if I can't appreciate Queen G, who she is, her makeup, her giftings, and and I'm not talking about makeup on the face, I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
uh, not physical, but physiological
Right.
makeup, how God made her, what He created her to be, the life she's meant to touch, and all of that stuff. And I'm trying to compete with her. What is happening is that I'm proving to myself and not anybody. And unfortunately, what happens is I move away from who I am because I'm
Mm-hmm.
so obsessed with champion becoming a better Queen G. And first of all, I can't be Queen G. How do I show the world that I'm better than she is? And that's what's happening, that crab mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull you down and come over you, pull you down and come over you. And yet you pull us down, we all stay below.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the power of when women get together and do things in unison,
Mm-hmm.
bring our strengths together, okay, to compensate each other's weakness. Where I'm weak, she's stronger, so that together we are strong. We build powerfully. It took women.
Mm-hmm.
We talk a lot about the 12 apostles, but it took women. The women were the ones who did a lot of the spreading of Jesus's work. The first evangelist was a woman. Okay, when you look at the church as a body, I'm coming from that perspective because that's who I am. I'm a church girl. Okay, it's women who built the church. If women will come together and network, Queen G and I are very different, but she's been a force behind a lot of the things I'm doing. She's been the power behind the Speak Wellness Hour. She's held it together. I can come here and talk all I want. I can never do what she does.
Thank you, Queen.
Without her, this will not be what it is right now. And I know that and I acknowledge that. And I give her the credit for that. Okay. Same way someone is clawing at her sister's husband just because, and you know it. You see, our strength in finding our purpose, knowing who we are, what our strengths are, what we were called to do, and focusing on it, and harnessing it, and building, and developing, and growing, and becoming the best versions of ourselves, coming together and bringing self into the network. And that's where we are missing it. fighting each other rather than harnessing our strengths and building together.
Yeah. I'll say this. I want to answer your question as to why there is no men's national.
No, I didn't say why. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. But so
Right.
you've been
No,
given
well, and there isn't, because I just looked it up. There isn't. This is why. This is my perspective. You notice it's still his story. It's not her story month. It's his story. They've been telling stories about us that are incorrect for the longest time, okay? And this is why we have a national month. We have national women's holidays. We have national black holidays, because you have a certain group of men that just like to write the history for everybody. So we don't, they got enough on their place. Anyways, that's just a side note. Yeah. That's a side note. So we can have National Herstory Month this month. But I did want to share with you all. I wanted to say something back to Rosa Parks. And again, I didn't know disrespect, but I wanted to elaborate on that really quickly. Why I said that. Because I'm going to give you a list of names. And I find this very interesting that people don't know anything outside of a handful of influential women, especially Black women. So we've got Marie Van Britten Brown. Marie Van Britten Brown. Does anyone know what this woman did? Black woman. Anybody? In the chat. This woman.
Marie Van Britton.
There we go. Yep. I'll put it in the chat.
Brown.
There we go. Anybody want to take a guess at what she invented? I'm sorry, I've got something in my eye. I'm going to tell you all. She was the co-inventor of the first home security system. Her and her husband. Okay, Black woman, first home video security system that includes the cameras, the two-way communication, the remote door unlocking. Okay. We've got another one here. We've got Miss Patricia Bath. Anybody know who Patricia Bath is? If you do, put it in the comment section. I'm gonna throw some more names at you guys, and I won't do this for too long.
BATH.
Yes, Patricia Bath. There she is.
The bathtub? No.
No. She is a pioneer in laser eye surgery. Think about that. We don't have a lot of Black female physicians. We don't have a lot of Black physicians. She's the first Black female physician to receive a medical patent for laser eye surgery. Okay. We've got Lisa Galopter. I don't want to mispronounce that. But she is the pioneer behind the early web animation. So that's the animated GIFs that you all send, that we all love to send. That is who she is. I'll put her name in there too. So there's a lot of, so again, I was not discrediting Rosa Parks. I said that to say, when we tear one another down, when we don't build another, when we don't respect each other's, like Queen just said, when we don't respect each other's gifts and talents, it's hard enough for us to make it as it is. It's hard enough without being, pushed down, knocked down, beaten down, emotionally, physically, mentally, verbally, and we have people doing great things. And these are people that are not always in the spotlight. I've got another one for you. Bessie Blount Griffin. I'm going to put her in there. She created, let me put her name in, I'm going to tell you. And we'll get off this. I just want to show you all that there are other people of different ethnicities that do other things. And that's wonderful. Hang on, where is it at? Miss Bessie. What did Miss Bessie do? She invented the feeding tube device for disabled veterans in World War II. If anyone's ever been in the hospital, like I said, we're in the healthcare field, Queen Edith and I, if you've ever been in the hospital settings or seen individuals that are sick, that are needing feeding tubes, intubated, when their lives are on the lines. These are people that have done amazing things. Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson invented caller ID and the fiber optic cable thing that we're paying. How much is your cable bill? You don't gotta tell me in the chat. How much your cable bill? This is what we paying for though. All this cable, all this money we spend on cable bills came from a black woman. I think that's pretty dope. So just think about that when we're thinking about people that are unsung heroes. You all are unsung heroes. Uh, Queen Anne spoke highly of me, but she be doing the thing. There's people ask me if I'm going back to school for my RN. No, ma'am, no, sir. This queen's got she said $67. Oh my goodness. I've never seen a bill that low. Not well, I've
It's
not had
mandated to, like, they put it in your rent. So when you get the
okay.
apartment, it's either, they forced it down our through start in December last year. And whether you want it or not, it's in your rent. You like it or not. I'm just saying.
That's
I'm just
interesting.
saying.
I got rid of my cable, but I have $120 internet bill. That's a lot of money. Fiber
Yeah,
optics,
that's only for Wi-Fi though.
Yeah, yeah. So think about the women in our lives that are doing influential things, and you don't have to invent something. I speak about Queen Kathy B all the time with gardening. My Aunt Betty, uh, my mom, they're in the healthcare field, nurses, medical assistants. My sister does real estate. Queen Edith has a whole roster of her gifts and talents. Are you
Into
going back to
that.
school after this, or are you going to be done? I think she's going back to school for a PhD. I think she wants
I
that doctor in front of her name. I think she's doing it. So,
I
yeah, we
do.
all have gifts and talents, and they're to be appreciated. And there's nothing wrong with admiring other women that are doing great things and saying, hey, I see you. Great job. Keep up the good work, without backbiting afterwards or before. It's okay to uplift one another. And a lot of times that's what we need because we're doing things like the names I just shared with you. You can look that up. Black women and Black inventors in history that have done things that nobody knows about. And the thing with a lot of these women, a lot of these Black inventors, these Black female inventors from before, people are making money off of their inventions now, and they were never, ever, ever recognized, nor did they earn anything financially from it. And people we're benefiting off their backs, off their hard work, off their intellect. So guard your
Intellectual of their intellectual property.
yes, yes. So think about that when you're connecting with people. Connect with strong women that have good intentions, that have goals. You can't be linking yourself up with everybody that ain't got no goals. Now, if you need some insight, if you need some encouragement, but you can't hang around everybody that don't got no goals, no ambition, no motivation, because you are the company that you keep. So just keep that in mind as you grow and network with strong women like us on the people of this hour. Queen.
So I want us to look at the modern woman today. I do believe that every generation has something unique to them that they are fighting, that they are overcoming, that they are building. Every generation, okay. One of the things that is very predominant in our generation is women. I mean, they were there then, but now it's predominant. Women are in professional and career fields.
Mhm.
Okay. Heading organizations, starting businesses.
Mhm.
Okay. Women and still being mothers and homemakers. Okay. We are in serious leadership positions, entrepreneurial positions, caregiver positions. Many people in this generation, especially the baby boomers, are taking care of mom and dad and taking care of their children. So they are in the middle, okay? Um, Today's woman is not limited to one role. She's building families, leading organizations, mentoring others, supporting parents, raising children, whilst at the same time building her own career and keeping up with herself. People, the generations before us faced a lot of obstacles. Our obstacles are greater. A lot of us don't have. We can't even begin to understand the internet world, the world wide web, and what our children are caught up in, and the things we need to navigate. You are not just protecting your children physically, even within the homes, in the privacy of their bedrooms. We're still protecting them from predators coming from outside. So for the challenge is huge. And having that mental aptitude, being knowledgeable enough to even navigate ways of protecting your home within the home is very challenging. So the question is, what challenges do women in our generation face that previous generations may not have faced? What are some of the challenges you're facing? Food. Okay, the food that we are eating, Queen Kathy is here, she grows her food. A lot of women are going back to that. They're farming as well. Okay, to make sure that the food they're putting on the table is healthy. Because so many things, and I regret never doing this because last year, my birthday, I bought some yams. Okay, I don't know if I'm digressing. I bought some yams, Ghana yams. And when I cooked it, I realized that when I put it back down, it feels like plastic. It really wasn't. It was genetically modified.
You
So
got
that
them from where? From Ghana or from here?
from here, I bought it here.
Oh, okay.
I bought it here, but it's definitely genetic. It looks and feels right. But when yam is like potato, like our regular potatoes. When you sit it down, it may be a little hard, but it's kind of mushy and you can mash it and all of that. But this is hard, like rubber, like it could never stay soft. It could never have that right texture. And so we need to even be, what do you call it? Have basic knowledge of science and food science to be made to make sure we are feeding our families right. So modern day women are navigating a lot of these things that our parents didn't have to navigate. Food was real then. Okay, so the question I want to ask is, what are some of the challenges that we are facing in our generation that previous generations may not have faced? On what strengths do women bring to leadership today? What strengths are we bringing to leadership today? And how can we support one another rather than compete unhealthily? Competing unhealthy manners with each other. Okay, do you want me to type it for you?
I'm gonna type it real quick. Say it one more time.
Hold on, I think I have it written here. I'll type it. I'll bring it to you here. Okay. What challenges do women? Okay, here we go. Command C, Command V. And I like us to answer these questions for ourselves. Oh,
And you know what? While you're typing that in, I'll say this. The concept of it's just the darn perversion, the overall perversion, the mindset in the perversion, how we think has changed things. Where we have this mindset that it is. How do I say this? It's an expectation to be. And I say that because we choose a lot of times to get in situations over and over and over again where we are raising children without the parental guidance they need. And I was a single mother. I'm not knocking single mothers. I'm not saying that at all. But the mindset where it's okay, where we can be so careless, sometimes and reckless in a consistent manner, to where we're bringing children into the world that we're repeating the cycle of broken homes is a problem. And like I said, I've been a single mother. Even in those situations, you still teach your children the value of family, the value of self, the value of respect. And I don't think we see enough of that anymore. And I'm not in everyone's home, so I could be wrong, but there's too much of where this misindependent mindset has got us messed up to where we're operating out of order and unaligned with our purpose and our destiny. And that is part of the issue for sure. We have an
I'll
issue,
ask you a
but
question.
mm-hmm,
Um, I know the extremities to any and all of these situations, but some women have no choice than to learn to be independent
mm-hmm,
because they have been in independent situations where there was the person they're with was not dependable. So they
mm-hmm,
had no choice.
mm-hmm.
Uh, they had no choice that to learn to depend on themselves
Right.
and build their families. So I feel like sometimes in order for a woman to soften up and lose and relax and let their spouse or their husband take
Mm-hmm,
over, they may have to have that feeling of safety that this person I can depend on. Because with so many men,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not blaming men per se, and they also have their challenges. But some people have just dropped the ball to the point
Well, you
that
know
the
what, and I'm
woman.
saying, I'm sorry, I don't want to be getting mixed. I'm referring to, that's why I said the misindependent mindset. I'm talking, maybe mindset is not the word I want to use. That new culture thing where I don't need no man. That kind of snappy mindset where not I need to grow. I need to do this thing. That mindset where you're getting into situations with that screw these men attitude, man hater attitude, and you're getting into situations with that miss independent attitude, um and you're jumping into relationships that has you messed up in the end when it comes to child rearing is what I was specifically speaking to. So no, I agree with you. I totally understand having to experience things again. I've been there, done that, so I'm not knocking it. I'm talking about that attitude where we get out in these streets and we act like we don't have any self-respect and self-love, and we bring that to somebody's table, or we allow things to get.
It's interesting because when you say that as
Mm-hmm,
a therapist, it takes me to the unhealed person
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because they're coming from a place of pain
mm-hmm,
and maybe trauma. There's
mm-hmm,
something going on, and a lot of us. So a lot of us we haven't sought or
mm-hmm,
given ourselves the opportunity to heal.
mm-hmm. I agree.
We,
I certainly
we have
agree.
not given ourselves to heal, and that's where our mindset, that
Mm-hmm,
attitude, I
mm-hmm,
hate men.
mm-hmm,
Every married man does that. Every man is that. So we sabotage ourselves with those
mm-hmm.
notions.
There you go.
Okay. Having said that, asking these questions because we are one of the because the question on the floor is, what are some of the challenges women are facing today? The modern day woman is facing that the women prior may not have faced.
Mm-hmm,
And having said, whilst many women, modern day women, are keeping careers, they are starting businesses, they are running organizations, they are running for presidencies and all of that stuff, they are running for office and all of that stuff. Has
mm-hmm,
society accepted that sometimes the man should help in the house? I mean, there are general conversations, and
mm-hmm,
there's this mindset shift that is going on, and it's
mm-hmm,
healthy and it's helpful. But overall, generally,
mm-hmm,
you talked about this Miss Independent. I don't need anybody. I am a career woman. I don't cook or well, you go to the kitchen. I go to the kitchen. We all do this. Has society accepted this? Because that's some of the challenges some families are still facing.
mm-hmm.
Okay, that we will all go home, go to work, come back home. The woman come and stands in the kitchen because she feels she has to feel that traditional role as well. And she's earning money, she's bringing money, she's contributing financially, she's doing all of that to support the household. Because one of the things we are doing too is this: there's so much how to live by the standard. There's living standard has arisen a lot. We're giving our children phones, computers, a lot of things, technology. Okay. And the cost of living has gone much higher than it would have been and has been. Okay. So we need to bring in some financial support as well, or cut back. But the ones who are building and bringing financial support still have to go to the kitchen and play the traditional role of the woman as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the question is society empathetic towards that role, and how is the modern day woman dealing with it? Because many women are stressed and tired.
Mm-hmm.
Many women are.
Mm-hmm.
So
They are.
that
I agree. I agree. And before I say this, again, if you all, I'm trying to put these questions up on the screen and just flip them out for you guys if anyone wants to share their thoughts. But I do want to, before we close up, we got a few more minutes. In the process of us having this conversation, I would like to encourage you all, if you have a business, if you have something going on that you'd like to promote, if you know a female that has a business or something to promote, we want you to put it in the comments section, if you will. How we can get a hold of them. I know Queen Edith is just starting. Mary
I
Kay.
reactivated my Mary Kay, account because I'm not good at taking care of my skin. And when I used to do Mary Kay, I knew the products, knew how to use them, and they were helpful. So I've started. So you should keep an eye on my face, okay? So I reactivated it just to become a personal use consultant. But I do have my website, and if you need a product you want to support Edith, it's marykay.com/ my full name, Edith Amatefu. Straight up, right there.
Yes.
marykay.com/ Edith Amatefu. And I'm doing my virtual debut on Tuesday evening at 7. Queen G, don't kill me.
All right. No. Okay. Okay.
Tuesday
Okay.
evening at 7, I'm
I
doing
know.
my
She. I
virtual
just tell
debut.
y'all, she always got something going on. She done picked another project. She got something else going on. So you all make.
Listen. You see, and this is the other thing too. I want us, and we'll do this streams of income. Queen G has been talking about it. Yesterday, I was telling someone that I'm going to do everything I can to know that in the next 5 years, I'll be having so much income in my account, I wouldn't even remember where they are coming from.
There you go. There you
I
go. So
wouldn't
yes.
even remember which business is paying me this. Because I've always had anxiety around money.
Mm-hmm.
The American culture, the way you pay bills here is very different from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's changing because I haven't lived in Ghana in 22 to 23 years. Oh, no, 24 years almost. June be 24 years. So I can't say that there are a lot of changes. It's still very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't get the privilege of the education. I didn't even have the mindset to recognize the differences that early. So I did mess up financially a lot just because of lack of education, lack of understanding. Do you understand? And I'm getting to a point where I don't want money ever to be a reason why I can't do what I'm called to do. Okay. So I'm working, beginning to save, beginning to educate myself financially, and Angelina has done a good job with that. Okay. In a way that maybe 5 years from now, if I keep alive, God keeps me alive, I will have different streams of income without exchanging so much of my time for, except the ones I truly love. And I am so blessed to say that I love everything. I love everything I do. Can I say
Mm-hmm.
it's challenging? It's absolutely very challenging and sometimes very tiring. but at least I love it and I put all my energy towards it. And ultimately, I know they'll all begin to what? Be worth it. Be worth it. I'm blessed to have my health. I'm blessed to have strength. I'm blessed to be able to get up and go. And I don't take anything for granted. So the next 5 years, I'm hitting the ground hard, running with everything I've got. What are you doing? What are you building? What is it you're looking for? I don't want to be ever anxious about money again. I don't want to panic when it's time to pay my rent, when it's time to pay my electric bill. I don't want to panic. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't want that. I am a woman and I am single and unattached, and it's God and me and my family. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. And what are you doing with what you have? I'm very content and fulfilled. It's amazing the things that fulfill you, but I feel very fulfilled. And I'll say this in closing. I'll be quiet so Queen G can have the floor. Today I've talked so
No,
much.
you can close us out. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead. Do your thing. You can close us out.
I'll say this. You see, by people make this joke that when you read Genesis 1 and 2 and you read the creation, they say God created man and he rested. And people misconstrue the word man with a male. It is not true. God created a human and rested. Then he formed Adam out of the dust of the earth. He watched Adam. He watched him. He connected with him. He related to him. He spent time with him. He observed him in the garden and realized that he needed help. He needed help. The power of the woman, he needed help. And God therefore put Adam to sleep. And out of his rib, the Bible says. And even at that word rib, there's so much on there. I don't want to break that down yet. That will be another platform, the Christian debate, Christian conversation on a different platform. Okay. But I want to say this, that we are a necessary group of people. God brought us on earth physically because he saw a need in the life of the male. Okay, whether the male is your husband, whether it is your father, whether it is your brother, whether it is your president, it doesn't matter. God saw the need in the male man. We are necessary, we are not an afterthought. There was a problem that we needed to help solve. And the key word is help. It doesn't make us second class. Because if the Holy Spirit is a helper, he's superior. And we are the only creation on earth that carry the same role as the Holy Spirit, helpers. It's a powerful role. It's a very powerful role. We women of our generation and some before have talked about what men can do, women can do better. Why do you want to do what men do? And I'm not talking about careers. I'm not talking about professional. We are the womb. We are the nurturers. We nurture destinies. We nurture lives. We carry lives. We have something that no man, no male can ever do. Why don't we focus on building what we have been called to build and make them better? We carry destinies, we carry generations, we carry a lot of power in our genes. Okay, and in our bodies. All a woman needs to know is to how to carry herself walk confidently across the street, and she turns the heads of men. But we are not supposed to use our bodies to destroy, but to build. Whatever it is, we have it to build. And sometimes we only look at our physical and we are using our physical to destroy homes instead of building hopes. Okay, to destroy relationship and compete with each other in a very unhealthy, unfashionable, and seriously distasteful manner. where we can come back together tastefully and build each other up. There's so much women can do and undergird for our society, for our community, for our church, for each other. Our men need us, but we have to step into our role effectively. We are never less than. The Bible says we are all equal. We are all created equal with different strengths, with different problems to solve. I know some people are going to come at me to battle about that statement I just made earlier on. But the reality is this: if we can tap into our womanhood, realize that we don't even need to compete with our men. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about woman, the role of the woman in the home, in the family, in the community. Nobody can play it. It's not about cooking, it's not about cleaning. It's deeper and it's more. So, who is the woman? It's a question I like to explore. Who is the woman? Why was she created? Where are her strengths? What is she supposed to do to build her family, to ensure that her children, her husband, if she has one, her household, all grow to fulfill the destiny? How are we stewarding the destinies that have been placed in our hands and in our womb? It's a question I'd like us to ask ourselves. It's a question I'd like us to answer next week. And we would like to invite you next week to come on live with us. If it's a topic that's a passion to you, we'd like you to come on live and let's talk about it. Who is the female? Why is she called the helper? In fact, the Bible doesn't call her a helper, she calls her a suitable helper. That doesn't make you weak. That gives you equal strength. But that's a topic we'll discuss next week. And if you like to come on live, you like to be part of the conversation, we will love as many women and men.
Bring them in. Bring them
We
in.
want to hear the man's perspective. This is one of the conversations I cherish having because it's one of the things that is breaking our society. We are competing unnecessarily in places where we don't have to. We just have to be the best of ourselves, and that's about it, gracefully. So thank you for joining us and allowing us to come into your homes this Saturday morning. We all have a lot to do. We love you, and we'll let you keep going about your day. I'm done.
Sounds good. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We thank you for joining us. We wish you peace, love, and blessings. Until next week, I think we'll be here. I hope to see you all there too.